Back with Bobby and JJ Radio, we have Lee Imbimbo and Robbins. They're with Imbimbo Architect and Development, also RYB Studio. That's RYB for red, yellow, and blue. I want to say, well, thank you guys for hanging out with us today. I wanted to start with who are you guys, what are you doing, and who are you servicing here in the San Antonio metro area?
So we are collaboration efforts between our two companies.
Cool.
Rob and I have developed a kinship between each other in terms of our shared passion for providing high-quality architectural services, as well as understanding clients' business and how that interplays when they get into facility acquisition.
Gotcha.
And
go ahead.
For me, one of the reasons I love working with Lee is he's super good at everything I hate doing.
Right.
So we're a great pair in the fact that his technical capacity and his ability to geek out on a spreadsheet and actually come up with pro formas that are just literally works of art are just amazing. My background's more in design. I actually not only practice, but I teach at Texas State. I teach interior design there.
Awesome.
And so the two of us just have a synergy that provides an amazing amount of value to clients because they get kind of a left brain, right brain combo.
It's like me and JJ. I bathe, he doesn't.
Yeah, it's a great combination.
We both bathe, just for the record.
But what type of architecture do you guys?
Our main focus, today is going to be towards commercial architecture. Mm-hmm. While we actually serve a broad share of clientele, Rob just finished up a bar, for example, recently. Our main focus today is to talk about leasehold improvements and how we see money being left on the table, ultimately through poor design choices.
Give me an example, if you don't mind.
Okay, I'll take it. When you hire an architect after the lease is done, it's just full of regret because we see all this opportunity, all the things we could have done if we would have been brought on early in the process.
Right.
We could have potentially steered the client to a different building that would have suited their needs more appropriately. But there's a lot of guessing that goes on, and there's also a lot of what I would consider just doing it the way it's always been done. Sure. But when you actually go in and use design, you can get the process to a higher level of surety, and it can go faster and can be far more profitable for the commercial real estate professional.
Right.
And what we are able to do is come in and narrow the choices down, do a little bit of programming so that you know which sites are going to really be best for your client.
What even stood out to us even more is when we started analyzing this financially, is that we were noticing that everyone was losing in the current process. The real estate agent spends a lot of time taking clients around to a bunch of different properties, showing them a bunch of things with no real, assurance that this property will actually really serve that client's needs.
Right.
And then there's a frustration that builds up with that. Like, is this just going to be another property I see? So that's lost time, lost turnover, potential for you to move on to other clientele.
For sure.
And additionally, dissatisfaction with your clientele. Additionally, your clientele tends to get overwhelmed by all the decisions they can make in terms of how much money they're going to spend, and they don't realize that expenditure on facilities in relationship to their overall business plan. And because of that, they often leave, once again, money on the table by either underbuilding a space or moving into space that doesn't perform as well for them. This, and again, impacts the landlords because the tenants tend to be dissatisfied with the space.
They want to move?
They want to move faster, so the landlords see, higher lease vacancy rates and higher turnovers. So we're literally seeing all three people at the level leaving money on the table because they didn't involve, clean architectural design from the very beginning.
So what's the fix?
The fix is hire the right
Rob
people.
Rob and Lee, bro. Rob and Lee.
But at what point do you bring them in?
You bring them in.
Is it too early?
The moment you actually sign a contract with your client to find them space, you bring us in. Because then, before you go run a profile and see what buildings you're going to show them, we can sit down for an hour and say, okay, tell us about your business. How many people do you have here? What are your current space? What's your current space like? What do you need? How are you going to grow over the term of this potential lease? And we can do a very, very tiny spreadsheet. We're talking a meeting that's less than an hour. We can come back to the office, knock that out, literally email it to them and say, is this what you really need? And they're like, yeah, that's it, or make this change or that change. Then we can actually have a property profile that we can send to the commercial real estate professional, and they know that not only are they looking for the right thing, but what's really costly is if you go after 6,000 square feet and halfway through the process you find out they really needed 8,500, and you've got to go out to the market and do another whole round of looking for space. And when there's a level of research that makes the client feel comfortable that they're getting the right thing, they're more willing to engage in other possibilities, including a longer lease or putting more money into that space.
Because they'll have the ability to grow and actually fulfill their 5-year to 7-year term lease, where instead of saying like, whoops, now you have to call us again and break leases and all that kind of stuff.
Like we talked about with money, I mean, y'all are going to be your first question is probably going to be, how much am I paying triple net?
Right.
But that is only one piece of the puzzle.
I know.
And I've seen so many times that a client would turn down a space that has a higher triple net, but would actually be a better performing space for them.
But they didn't know what the overall cost would be, and so they didn't spread it out over the 5 years. We're going to take a quick break. We want to continue this conversation. For more information, please, about design, call Rob Robbins at area code 512-797-9301, or you can also talk to Lee Imbimbo. And you can reach him at 210-403-3636. I'll be right back with Bobby and JJ Radio.